So hello everyone. I have genuinely not felt like this for years. I am like really tired. I've barely slept since the last stream. I'm going to be messing my words up and talking like a moron, gibbering away today because I'm tired. But I can't sleep and I don't know what it is. I haven't experienced this for ages. It's like I've just got, unending energy. Is it because I've started eating Ryvita since my shopping arrived this week? Who knows? But yeah, so I'm pretty in a weird spot at the moment, and I figured, hey, I'll start the stream an hour early just so that I'm not completely dead and all craziness later. So yeah, normally I start at 5. Today I'm starting at 4. That should be perfect regular window for most of everyone. I'm going to go get some coffee and some stuff to perk myself up. We're going to be doing cool Flameseeker Prophecies collections like Bleached Bones and all of that good stuff with Path of Fire. Just more of the regular today, and just some cool discussions and stuff. I was also looking for some like point of discussion, some controversial thing to discuss, and I even went but I couldn't find anything really on this one. So I even went as far as to look on Reddit at controversial posts, and I was kind of disappointed then to see there were 2 controversial posts involving me that I didn't even know exist this month. One of them was when I was talking... Well, look, we'll talk about it later. Anyway, let's do the intro. Let's go have some fun, guys. I've got a video advertising today as well, so let's do it. All right, hello everybody. The volume's okay right now. I'm going to keep that rolling in the background. Look at these new techniques that I'm executing that you've never seen before. Yeah, nobody recognizes. I've ruined it on Twitter now. If anybody follows me on Twitter, you will now know what this music is. Does nobody genuinely know what this is? Come on. Somebody guessed Nickelodeon, which I think's really interesting because they're both like kind of big things of the 90s, I would say. Super Mario Galaxy? No, it's not Super Mario Galaxy. Oh, can you not hear it at all anymore? Toe Jam and Earl. There you go, Isivaru. But I don't know whether you've just cheated there because I tweeted the name of it. This is Toe Jam and Earl. It's actually Toe Jam and Earl 2. And it's like an old hidden nugget of my childhood. Geez, what a game. Weird thing to come across today. But really odd nostalgia, like a very kind of deep-seated, strange feeling watching gameplay of that, since I haven't experienced for like, you know, many years. Anyway, yeah, so it's kind of a weird, obscure Sega Mega Drive game, or for my American friends out there, the Sega Genesis. And it's there was actually a Kickstarter. Believe it or not, there was a Kickstarter for a 4th game. They haven't made one for years and years and years. And the creators basically went out and they said, look, we wanted to make a good sequel, and then the publishers told us to completely change it. So we did. And then we wanted to make a good sequel again, and then the publishers told us to completely change it. So we did. And now it's years and years and years later, and Kickstarter's a thing. And please, can you give us money so we can make the genuine Toe Jam and Earl sequel that we always wanted? It will have like roguelike elements. Please do this for us. That was last year, and they funded it. So who knows what will come of it? Anyway, I was a fan of the second. I didn't really know the first. But I was a fan of the second one. Anyway, sorry, yeah, that's just a weird game. That's not really what I want to talk about. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Those who missed earlier, as I was discussing some stuff, yeah, I was looking for a good topic, a good Guild Wars-based topic to talk about today. And to help me in my quest for this, I thought I'd go to Reddit and search controversial to see, you know, what people might have said that might have ticked people off. But there's nothing really that good there at all, and I was very sad to see actually that there are 3 posts related to me that are controversial. So it was someone made a video, someone posted when I did my mounts video with the mount skins, which really isn't that interesting of a video, honestly, and I know that. But someone did that, and it got downvoted and was controversial, apparently. Another time was on one of these streams. Do you remember where on the stream we were discussing the big, heavy, thick walls that border maps and why it doesn't feel like a desert sometimes in Path of Fire? Now, the context of that discussion is very important. I wasn't going on the internet and saying, Path of Fire sucks, it doesn't look like a desert, all the environments are arse, they failed, miserable. That was not the context of that discussion. However, I was highlighting one of the problems with the engine and the game. And someone did a Twitch clip of me talking about that, and I just look like an asshole that's deeply hateful of the way that the Path of Fire deserts are, I guess. And then they made a Reddit thread on that. And obviously, and that was controversial. And I see that actually has a lot of comments, and I don't actually have the balls to read those comments because I can just tell it's going to be flat coming my way that I just, my fragile little heart doesn't have space for it. So yeah, that was unfortunate. And then another one was, what was another one? I don't know. There was another one as well. But that leads me into last night as well. Pretty interesting. So on yesterday's stream, we were talking about the dev streams that have been going on a lot. And someone was in our chat talking. So Lemony, right? Specifically, we called him out, right? So Lemony was in Matthew Medina is a dev and is responsible for a lot of story direction and writing and stuff. They did a stream. Whoa, what just happened to the stream there? That was weird. They did. He did a stream where he was talking about various story things, and then I was told about the content of that right here on my stream, and I read that out loud. Now, what Lemony said was this, that, where is it? On a side note, they're definitely bundling the next raid and Fractal with the premiere of Season 4. So, when you guys hear that on this stream, you're hearing it from me, who's hearing it from a guy who heard it from a guy that was a dev but wasn't really in a position to be saying something like that anyway, right? Turns out Lemony was just joking in this Discord message, and I'm not shitting you, that's exactly what I wrote, but he was just joking. But so then people made a Reddit thread of me saying that out loud on the stream as though that's news. Wow. So there was like a big Reddit thread of like an announcement that there's going to be a triple release. Woo! And it's not true at all. And so Lemony then turned around and said, oh god, we've dude, that Reddit post I've spawned about the bundling, I got it from rumors that may be correct, but not from the stream. Like, in what world would Matthew Medina have ever revealed in his random stream that the Raid and Fractal were going to be bundled together? So, yeah, I mean, it's pretty funny. Hopefully no one's too hurt or upset about it. Stuff like this, though, like, what I don't like about this is probably if I was Matthew now, looking on the internet and seeing this unfold, that's the kind of shit that would put you off streaming. And, you know, stepping up to the plate to talk to the community a bit more and stuff, because it's like shit just blows up in your face. There's nothing Matthew did with that, but all of a sudden he's got a Reddit thread on his hands where it looks like he's leaked some big triple release. And the amazing thing will be, if there is a triple release now, it's gonna look like really bad. Yeah, so Tipsy Seraph says this is why the devs are reluctant to speak to us. So I don't know, I might be falling out of favor here. All these deep controversies, wood and potatoes related controversies recently, that might have, you know, they might be putting me on the wrong end of the community. What do you guys think? Is that going to be quite bad? So anyway, did a video today, yesterday. Like I said, I haven't really slept. I'm in a very weird place. But I did a video on the adventures and stuff. It wasn't, again, a very interesting video. It would have been much more interesting to have had out on the week of Path of Fire coming out, but, you know, I'm only human. I can only play so much and produce so much, and you've got to prioritize. So it feels a bit limp now, but I think that it was good to get my voice out there on the adventures right as POF came out. In fact, if I go in game right now, you will see that I am actually stood... Why are we just looking at a black screen? There we go. I'm actually stood at one of the adventures right here. And no word of a lie, before recording that video, I said to myself, well, look, I will play this just to get used to it again. And I don't have to do very well, but I just want to get used to this little route so that I don't mess it up terribly in the video. And I did it just on a whim like that, just straight up. And I got 5th best for the whole day. 5th best. That was 13th best for the whole day that I just got there. So quite extraordinary, actually. How the rank 21 person got 14 seconds, I have no idea, but that's extremely impressive to me. 14 seconds. But yes, there you go. That's my little humble brag on that, and that's why I'm stood here. As for the content of the stream, what we're going to be doing is some other fun stuff involving heading to Augury Rock, doing that meta as best we can. So can you guys hear the game right now? I mean, I can barely hear the game. Is it coming out on the right device? As long as you guys can hear it, I don't mind so much. Oh, that guy's Noob Cybot, dude. I'm gonna create my own squad though. If you want to join me, Noob Cybot, just join on that squad. Big Mac says, funny enough, if they don't ever need those map pools, they can do it when the map ends in ocean. Why not in the desert? I see your point there. Oh, yeah, totally, dude. And that was just one thing we were discussing. You know, if I go to the Guildhall here, they weren't scared to do it on the Guildhall. And I think that's kind of interesting because the Guildhall released at the same time as the other POF maps. But I don't know. Do you know what this might actually mean? So just to demonstrate to you, what this might actually mean is this northern border to this Guildhall, right? Where they've just put an invisible wall there. They don't care. They make it look like a desert. They keep it looking open, but there's an invisible wall. The fact they've done this might suggest that they never intend, ever, to add a map north. Like, we'll never actually visit this area of the world, is the idea. Because that then... I don't know. Do you guys get what I mean? I wonder if they could invest some time into figuring out a better way of doing map portals and stuff. That could be interesting. And do sort of like, if you remember the old GTA games, you'd walk to a certain place and then it would just suddenly stop and load. And then you'd get to be able to go further. You know, that kind of experience. So I just saw someone subbed. I'm sorry, I'm turning on stream labels now. So how are you guys all doing today, by the way? I'm curious how your last 24 hours, or however long it's been since you come to one of the streams, have been. The Gilded Hollow has an invisible wall that should be where an Inquest base is in Drytop. Yeah, because they have that really weird overlapping thing going on. Definitely. I know what you mean, actually. You want the game a little bit louder still, do you? All right, I'll make it a bit louder. Oh, it was Flag. Dudes. Flag, 4 months. Good stuff there, dude. I like the little emote you put there. It's nice to see you, dude. And we had Mina as well. Jin Buck. Oh, I gotta say. Oh, God. I shouldn't really talk about this. I was a bit depressed this morning. I've realized that there are certain times of the month where Patreon just takes a dive. And I think because this is the end of a month or like a Patreon cycle, right as the expansions got to the point where people are like, yeah, I'm going to go play X, Y, or Z now, and they're leaving. Patreon was like, it was like the aftermath of some hideous battle there. It's just like tons of different people who had joined just saying, oh yeah, I'm deleting my pledge, I'm deleting. I never used to properly look at the notifications like that, but in an attempt to be more professional, I've decided to keep an eye on that kind of stuff. And if someone I recognize leaves, I like to send them a message and ask whether it was something I did or whatever. But my God, that was pretty gruesome. Just severed limbs everywhere, basically, the Patreon equivalent. Heading to the dock in a few. Took a line drive playing baseball yesterday and broke my hand. Other than that, happy to be here. You broke your hand, dude? Ouch. You know, I've never broken a bone in my life. Unless maybe I've, like, broken a toe, but you can't do anything and that just heals on its own, right? So there's a chance that I've broken that, but I've never broken a bone. And to me, I have like this horrible opinion of like it must be this terrible, almost gruesome, horrible thing that I just can't even imagine. I have no basis, no understanding of how bad that could be. All right, so by the way, on yesterday's stream, we essentially finished the first map, except doing a ton of weapons. I'm going to take that further now. So there's Up in Arms. We're going to go to the Desert Highlands now, and we're going to be doing these. So these ones infinitely repeat, and they don't give you AP anyway. So can these never be filled in? Or what's the deal there? That's horrible if they can never be filled in. Surely they can. But I want to do these other things. So take your Springer out to help those in need and gain tasty treats for your Springer as a reward. Given by Stable Master Unja in High Jump Ranch for talking to her about helping the local traders. So we'll go do this. I mean, this seems like a full-on quest here. So we'll do this, and then we'll look at Flameseeker Prophecies and interpreting some of that lore and stuff a bit later with it. What's my favorite map so far in POF? I think it's this one. I think it's the Desert Highlands. I think the Desert Highlands are beautiful. You want WP to play Star Trek Online at some point just so he can captain the USS Spud. Is there a USS Spud? Would that be a name for my ship? You know, it's funny. I've got an old guildie of mine used to play Star Trek Online. And I didn't play it with him, and I never understood it. I never really had any conversations with him about it at all, right? Because Star Trek Online, why did I care? I'd watched some of the old Star Trek shows in the 90s, but I didn't really remember it anymore or care about any of that stuff. But very recently, over the past year, I got into Star Trek as an adult. And, I know a lot more about Star Trek now. I know who the Cardassians are. I know who the Ferengi are. I know more. I always knew about the Borg, but... You know, I know more about the Vulcans, because don't forget, I didn't even really, you know, I certainly missed the original stuff. I know about the Romulans, I know about the Neutral Zone, I know, you know, various classes of Federation Starship, I know these things now. And then it's like, wow, there's an MMO where I can play as any of these, and I can do this stuff, and it actually sounds really exciting. So I kind of like that. Oh, sorry, hold on, ToeJam and Earl isn't still playing, is it? No, it's not still playing. Why did somebody just type ToeJam and Earl? Oh, what was the intro? Oh, somebody just asked. Okay. Am I on EU again today? My ping is 40, so yes, I'm on EU. Sorry if these are NA people who are hoping to join us. So hold on, let me see here. I need to speak to Stable Master Unja for talking to her about helping local traders. Is this after I finish the heart, maybe? Let's go have a chit-chat with the lady. Plus, you can name your own starship. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how good the game would be, but as someone that now appreciates a little bit more of that world of geekness, I can maybe understand it a bit. So, the little... What are you, a little boy? Little girl? What is this? Let's play the game. Male or female. Type a 1 if you think it's a boy. Type it a 2 if you think it's a girl. Male or female. What do we think, guys, of this androgynous little child here? Oh, look at that. Immediate contradictions right there. Ones, twos, the occasional three alien. Assuming genders in 2K17 and you got that blue haired girl. That's wonderful. It's non-binary. Alright, well anyway. Welcome to our village and my Springer stable. It's a nice place to stop and rest your feet if you're traveling. Anything I can do to help out? Let's see. The water troughs need filling. The Springer's carrots are missing again. And local animals have been causing no end of trouble. Well, how do I fill those troughs? Grab a bucket. Alright, that's fine. How else can I help? What's the deal with the carrots? Some of the other kids say I work too hard and they like to prank me by stealing the Springers as carrots and hiding them from me. I don't have time to go find all of them. Wow. Stealing the food of animals that need it to get at a child. What's your animal trouble? Harpies. Groundhogs? Groundhog infestation? Alright, so I think we got to finish the heart, basically. Snap, we had a sub. Thank you so much to Oren Paz there. You're a boss. It's good to see you. I really appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Alright, so I don't even remember the last time I did this heart. Probably a while ago. So let's just go for carrots. Because Bugs Bunny Lost in Time is the greatest of games. And this is clearly a 2K17 reimagining of that. Vaccine 19 said you just finished the story and it was really good. What did you like about it, dude? What's your immediate impression? Galaxy Quest was the best Star Trek spoof movie. I think I've seen clips of that, but not much of it. Not much else, sorry. Wasn't... Oh, gods. Wasn't Sigourney Weaver in that? Am I right? Wasn't she in that? Or I'm thinking about something else. So there's some harpy eggs there, which a tasty golden carrot. Let's just try and break the eggs. Oh my god, that gave us a huge chunk of progress. That was awesome. I'm still on this Healy, Ellie. I'm going to probably play a different character soon. But for now, I'm going to stay on this one. So I don't want to aggro those warthogs. I'm just trying to get away from the harpies so that I can break combat. I'm about 1,000,000 miles away from them, and for some reason, I'm still in combat. How? How did I just get shot by that guy? Why is he... How is he still chasing me as well? Oh. I swear, playing POF open world alone on a support build is not fun. Like, these last two streams have been a great demonstration of that. There's also an app for finding... an achievement for finding all the carrots, and it unlocks another one for hidden carrots. Is there? Oh, okay. Well, I guess we'll see that in a second. Let me just... Let me just nab these first. I shouldn't use that skill 1 on those eggs, I guess, because that dismounted me. That's an ancient sapling. Final boss on Scrapple was particularly nice with tool belt stuff. That's your thought at the end of the story? That's interesting to me, that your main thought is how your class interacted with the boss mechanics, rather than anything like on a narrative level. I'm not saying that's the wrong way to think about the game. It's just it wouldn't have been what I would immediately have jumped to. So we can give them the carrots, can't we? Or don't we deposit them, maybe? Here you go, pile of carrots. We just put them in here, don't we? There we go. So we help out around High Jump Ranch. Thanks a bunch for helping out around the ranch. Before you go off on more adventures, come back and say hi to purchase a saddle for your very own Springer. Anybody who likes to explore should have a Springer. They can get to some hard-to-reach places. Okay, little boy. Now... Wait, can I just waste money by buying that again? Oh no, that's the mini. Yeah, and I already have unlocked. Anyway, none of those are things. None of those. Can you please stop moving and disabling the thing? Golden Springer carving. Springer carving. Show of support. High Jump Ranch. Oh my god. Why? Alright, I'm just going to buy that. I think that's for one of my banner things, so that's not actually necessarily important right now. Yeah, that's for raise the banners. Support Amnoon. Given by Stable Master Unja in High Jump Ranch for talking to her about helping the local traders. I got a letter about traders needing help. Yeah, harpies attacked them and stole a bunch of supplies. Talk to Trader Burgess up on the hill past the farm. He'll know where those rotten harpies are. Okay, so we've got to speak to Burgess. And where did he describe him? Up the hill? Alright, I'm literally going to look for a hill and go up it. This is quite interesting. We actually have to use our eyes. This is like in Morrowind where it says, move north at the crossroads to find X settlement. In the southwest corner of X settlement, you'll find a cave. And next to the cave, supposedly I will find that filthy Enoir that has the information for me. Is he up here maybe? Nope. There's a groundhog mound. Wow, that's incredibly cute. Let's break it. I feel a bit weird because I can't hear Guild Wars 2 right now. I hope you guys can. Don't move with the NPC and it should stay open. It really, is that how that works? Because old NPCs used to be the reverse of that. You had to move with them, or else it would close, right? So now it's the reverse, is it? Was that a recent change? Maybe we should go further up the hill. I'm looking for just any kind of named NPC basically right now. You swit. Yeah. Village herder. There's a llama there. There's a blacksmith. I do like this area. It's such like a cool, like, populated place. There's a merchant here. I mean, it's not literally just a merchant we have to speak to, is it? No, they don't have anything else. Oh, they do have stuff. But nothing that I need. What about in this tent? Hello? Nope. My two favorite things about the story were the final boss fight and the major thing they do to your character towards the end of the story. It's funny that you describe that as towards the end of your story, because I think by a lot of, in a lot of respects, that should be kind of the middle of the story. What about you? I don't know you. You knew. This is a nice village to settle in. It was founded by people from way up north who migrated through the tunnels from Ebonhawk, or so they say. So who says? My grandfather, for one. He told me stories. Supposedly, I was named after my ancestor, a soldier of the Ebon Falcons. Who knows? I'm no soldier, just a llama herder, and that's just fine. I wonder if in the second novel, in the scene set at Ebonhawk, we meet a character called Diane, because I certainly don't remember. The Ebon Falcons, whatever. Well, I'm still struggling a little bit here. Trader Burgess. Burgess. Should we keep climbing, maybe? Because I feel like we're sort of leaving the territory now. We are very high up on a hill. I'll accept that. Mostly just gazelles and stuff here. It's by me, by the way, says NG Larry. The NPC is there, WP. Oh, what? He is here. I'm a moron. Planning on spending some time in our village? Our accommodations aren't luxurious, but if quaint is what you're after, you found it, with only a small chance of getting eaten by harpies. Oon just said you need help retrieving supplies. We've had some harpy trouble. They attacked us and stole our cargo. If you can help, please do. Our village's future depends on it. Okay, so where did the harpies go? Well, we were traveling west of here when they attacked. Last I saw, the harpies were heading up near the waterfall. If only I was a better fighter. Why are these supplies so important? Our town relies on trade with other villages. We promised them these supplies, and not delivering could damage our relationship. This seems very cookie cutter, like placeholder dialogue. Okay, so west. So I need to kill harpies to the west to get an item, maybe, to give to Burgess. So I need to... This is really interesting. Ewendal, you've been so unbelievably consistent with this. Everyone in chat, give him a round of applause, because holy crap. You've been so consistent. It's ridiculous. I mean, honestly. Here's a consolation donation to make up for all those filthy expatrians. Wow. Wow. That is, this is what it was all about, right? You basically have just taken one of, like, those many names on the list and removed it. Thank you very much, dude. That's so lovely of you. Thank you. Yeah, look at that round of applause you're getting. I missed him. I've heard your name a lot on this stream. He's such a good guy / girl. Yeah, I mean, every stream really recently. Oh my god, what is that? That's a crazy Super Saiyan hair I can see right there. Alright, so west. West for harpies. So I will just go directly west and kill any harpies I see. It's not just going to be the ones on this mountain over here, is it? I guess it is going to be the ones on the mountains. Up by the vista and whatnot. I guess. Look, I'm not doing this on this character. I'm not doing it on this character. Let's do it on an easy character. Let's do it on a Guardian or something, yeah? Tons of quality of life there. I might do it on my Necro as well. Were we playing Power Necro recently? Oh, we've never even been to that map on the Guardian. I keep forgetting that some of these characters I've just barely played the expansion on. Would you say the elite specs are better on Heart of Thorns or Path of Fire in terms of PvP? Dude, I couldn't even begin. I don't know. You might want to look for a caster. What casters has the scene got these days? Can someone fill me in on that? But you might want to find a caster or just PvPers. Asking Heart of the Mist, you'll get a better answer than me. Than from me. I haven't PvP'd since like last Christmas. And if you think about it, it's been basically a year. Oh, we're coming fast on Christmas again now, so. I swear, it feels really weird. The time it takes from June to suddenly roll to November always catches me unawares every year. It feels like it just, if I blink my eyes, it was June, and it's like, you know, we're not even the majority of the way through summer yet, and then boom, it's like, oh, it's November now. Yeah, Spellbreaker I've heard is quite monstrous. Scourge I've heard is quite monstrous. What was the other one that was like really destroying people in PvP? There were 3 that were very, very, very powerful. Firebrand, that's it. Yeah, Firebrand too. Outside of those, I don't sort of know how the rest is. A lot of it though, like, you can talk about moment-to-moment balance, but that's what most people on the internet will do, but I actually think that's really ill-advised. I wouldn't suggest people do that. What you got to do is look at what the niche of these things is supposed to be, because anything ridiculously, ludicrously overpowered, obviously they're going to attempt to fix and refine and rein in and whatever. So you got to look at like the potential of the niche it's meant for. So Heart of Thorns has got, you know, like some very powerful supports on it. And Chrono is like incredibly strong and will probably forever be incredibly strong. Scrapper is well suited at its core to PvP and forever will remain well suited at its core for PvP because of the function gyro. And then on the Path of Fire hand, you've got Spellbreaker is functionally well suited to PvP, right? It's an anti-spec, so it works well in that world. So you got to look at stuff like that, right? Rather than, oh, this is just overpowered right now, because that stuff's subject to change. But the raw idea behind them, that's probably the smarter thing to do. I don't know. It depends how long term you want to play Guild Wars for. If when you're looking for advice about PvP and you just want advice for the next week or two before you then go to play, you know, classic WoW when it comes out, then don't worry about it, right? Just do current balance. All right, let's move on up. I love the heat waves in this map. I think they're so good. Do you prefer POF or Heart of Thorns in terms of them being interesting? Now, that's a really, really weird thing to talk about. On what criteria can we judge that, then? See, I kind of want to say to chat, and I will, I guess. Guys, type a 1 if you think on balance Heart of Thorns specs are more interesting. Interesting, not strong. We're not talking about efficacy. We're talking about interesting. We're talking about flavor. We're talking about animation, stuff like that. Type a 1 if you think that the Heart of Thorns ones are more interesting. Type a 2 if you think the Path of Fire ones are more interesting. Now, I tell chat to do that. I'm guessing we'll see more 2s because people like what is new and fresh more than anything else. And I don't think it's easy to be objective. But maybe Path of Fire's been out long enough that that skewing won't be a thing. You know, it's like when they're revealing elite specs during the Heart of Thorns days, if you ever polled the community which one's the best, it was always heavily slanted the most recent one the devs announced, right? Because that hype is there. So I don't actually know about how you make that comparison. I think that the POF ones clearly had more time. And when you look at how much was put onto Soul Beast and Weaver and what was the other one that was really impressive and had just a dick ton of stuff on it? I think clearly they had more time in some of those respects. Come on. There we go. That's not to say they're not without issue. I mean, Christ, if you really look at Soul Beast, there's a lot of like weird things that aren't working there. But I don't know. I think that like the vision behind a lot of the Heart of Thorns ones is really good. Like the vision for Reaper is fucking awesome. And the flavor for Reaper and stuff is really awesome. Tempest. I mean, how do I even go about Tempest? How do you compare, like, Tempest to Weaver as well? Like, the niche that they put Tempest in, I don't think fits Tempest, but then it executes that niche well. But I don't know, it's just weird. Feels kind of even to me, but I just came back to experience both for the first time. Well, your opinion's probably a pretty solid one to that end then. Because you get it all fresh all at once. And if you say it feels even, then it's pretty good. Beastmaster is so much more fun than Druid. It's called Soul Beast. You might find, and the only reason I'm picky about that is, there we go. This is why we're running guard, because we can easily and very comfortably. Holy shit, that guy fucked me up. What? What was I getting stung by retail or something? Was that just a friggin' skill 2 from that predator? That's insane. I was in the middle of talking about the quality of life we get on it. I was going to point out that we had the nice comfortable stab to stop us at any risk of getting knocked off. Am I just meant to be randomly killing harpies here then and hoping to get a random drop from them? Tarnished memory crystal. Double click to open. Oh my god, that was a friggin' firebrand thing. That's funny. It isn't a drop, it's an object. Right, oh, okay. So we're looking for an object that will be written in yellow, I guess. Maybe it's that up there. I did just see something very briefly at the top of there. Change your heal. Wrath isn't very good for open world. I actually do like Litany of Wrath for open world, but I get what you're saying. I might try the Signet out as well, actually, for open world, just so it's really... Well, I don't know, because this can burst heal you through a lot. Like, for example, running Litany of Wrath, and then you can just face roll Chuck, you know, Veteran Chuck, which pump retail and stuff on themselves. It doesn't matter, because you can just push through it anyway. And that's a really fun thing to do. So here, I'm going to ride the Griffin and just scout around here. Tasty golden carrot, harpy eggs. There's nothing on that one. Harpy egg, flax. Tasty carrot, eggs. There's an insight there. Lost dwarven chest. Golden carrots. I don't know. How do you keep yourself entertained long term on Guild Wars 2? Oh, what is that there? Stuck ball. Oh, a little NPC just said, maybe if I had a Springer, I could jump up and knock it loose. How do you keep yourself entertained long term? I think it's important to play a variety of things. If all you do is one class, and all you do is zerg through story once on that one class, you're going to bottom out really quick. Take the time to think about maybe going for achievement points, finish collections, try out World vs. World, try out PvP. Even if you didn't like it in 2012, have another look at it. Stuff like that. If you find yourself eventually pursuing raiding as well, then that's a huge time sink. So there's stuff. I think that there's enough variety. I think that the game has got so much variety in its experiences it offers. If you ever feel bored with one area of it, if you really want to keep playing, it's very easy to keep playing. You just have to look at a different thing. Become a goddamn keg brawl expert for a little while if you want, you know? Oh, is that it there? Is that it, maybe? Oh, here you go. High jump ranch supply barrel. There's no harpies here. If this is it, that's a bit deceptive. Alright, Springer backpacking. We got the High Jump Ranch supply barrow. It was found atop a waterfall above High Jump Ranch's farm, protected by harpies. Ah, so there's actually a hint that tells us. Right, I see these hints. I wish it was more evident. It's like playing a puzzle with the UI to figure out what's what. Alright, okay, so on the future ones, we can look at the hints. Okay, so this is basically a quest where we look at the hint to find where the item might be, then we deliver the item to the NPC. Okay, cool. WP, do you play any other games than Guild Wars 2? Currently, I'm playing a lot of Divinity Original Sin 2 and Stellaris. Those are the two games that I'm playing a lot of, and a little bit of Pokemon ORAS. When I give myself some free time, that's what I'm doing. Planning on spending some time in our village. Our accommodations aren't luxurious. I found your supplies. What, really? Well done. Here's a treat for your Springer as a reward. Come back for more anytime. And here, take some more supplies too. Wow, that triggered 3 things for us. What should I do with these? Well, since we've fallen behind in our schedule, I was hoping you could take them to our respective villages. They'll reward you with plenty of Springer treats. Okay, sure. So, the treat system I've not shown off or talked about in any video, but basically, you ride the specific mount, and then you find the treat in your inventory. Okay. Oh, God. Look, I've told you guys already, I'm extremely tired. Alright, so here's the treat. Filled with all the nutrients a growing Springer needs. Double click to feed this to your Springer. It gives you bonus mastery experience, but only once per day. Yesterday we were talking about lack of consistency in Guild Wars design, and how it was they were still struggling with loot and how to make people feel rewarded and stuff. Someone in chat asked me, give me an example, and people were talking about, you know, like misplaced icons or typos and stuff of that nature. And I said, no, what I think's more offensive, and, you know, the bigger thing to look at is when large systems don't know what they're doing, right? And they're competing with one another, and there's inconsistent design in that respect. Someone in chat said, give me an example of that, WP, and I couldn't come up with one on the spot. Here's an example of one, you know. So they've given us a system where there's items you can get to feed daily to, you know, and there's something interesting in that. Yeah, what if the idea of Path of Fire's end game was kind of, you know, getting treats and feeding our mounts daily, and then maybe that makes it feel like we bond with our mount more, and the idea is we keep our mounts nourished, and it's got kind of that immersive angle and stuff. Yeah, there's like a nub or something in that, but it doesn't work because they've attached it to experience, which is attached to the mastery system, which was A, made account bound, and B, also decided to be over with incredibly short term. So there's like this long-term kind of daily thing here, which nobody really interfaces with in the way. So that's what I'm talking about. You know, that's the game talks to itself at cross purposes. One hand doesn't know what the other's doing. Inconsistency, right? Anyway, we're doing it for the sake of a collection, but once we've done the collection, that's also once ever, and that also goes away. So it's little things like that. Hopefully that sort of articulates what I was going on about yesterday. So anyway, we want to hand these in. So we've got the Hare's Foot Herb. I guess we're going to go to people and they're going to say, hey, go find these other items later. So let's just do these next. The Ogre Springer Treat. This is given to us by Merchant Oligi in the Crawl for delivering her shipment of supplies and finding her lentils. So I guess we need to give her supplies and we've got to find her lentils. Let's just go give her supplies first, shall we? And since we're quite high up, the Griffin should be pretty fun to do this on too. God, his green tune makes me want to punch someone in the throat. As always, his fashion wars is on point. Jesus, you sound like an angry, angry person. You should go see a therapist. Makes me want to punch someone in the throat. Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah. That was right down to the wire there. Okay, so we're speaking to Oguligulabulaboo or something. It's almost impossible to read their names as I move around at this speed. But we will do it, guys. We'll be fine. Is that them there? Nope. Ogre Hunter. Nope. Anuka. Was it Anuka? No, I don't think it was them, was it? What was their name again? Oligi. Oligi. He's not here. Crag is there. Not sure. Green is my favorite color. Yeah, I mean, I was just trying to look like a frog, honestly. There's a stream from a while back now where you can see where I sort of first made this. And I just haven't changed the gear since. So it's just like that. Why all the green, at least blue for a guardian? No, that's the point though. I wanted to like turn what we think of when we think of a guardian on his head and go green instead. You're delivering to actual merchants. Oh, am I? So I can look at the map to see a merchant icon like this one down here, which is where NG Laru is, who's obviously hoping I'll see them there. So nice. Okay. Hello. What is it? Here are your supplies. My supplies? Well, if that isn't that a relief? Thank you. Since you're in such a helpful mood, can you do me another favor? Sure, what is it? I was so worried about this package that I never got a chance to gather more lentils. Could you find some for me? They grow nearby, and I'll give you a treat for your springer if you do it. All right, so lentils. They're found high on the mountain cliffs to the west of Nibos Butt. Is that boot? Butt? How do we pronounce that? B-U-T-T-E. Somebody tell me. Teach me. Okay. High on the mountains. And what did they say? No. Just west. It was just west that they said. Nibos Butt. Where is that though? That's quite far away. Huh. Okay. So it's up here, west of these, so it'll be over there. Wow, alright, that's quite far away. Butte. Game music's a bit too loud. It's overpowering your voice. Okay, I'll turn that down. That's 5 dB lower now. It's just normal lentils that you gather. Oh, is it? They seem to have like a special icon here, though. It says that that's the hare's foot herb. Oh, wait. Oh, the hare's foot herb is not... It's not lentils. So, it's just regular lentils I want. Like these ones standing over here. Standing. Like these here. So I literally just grab these. And he'll be happy with those, Billy? 5 handfuls of red lentils. Crafting material, chef. Alright, well, let's go back there then, I guess. Did I get the waypoint that was there? I did. That's fine. Let's just go south. Okay, so why does Timey literally say we need an Asura gate to the desert and yet we don't get one? Wait, when does she say we need an Asura gate to the desert? Is that in one of the things for Always Time for Timey? Because I haven't done all of those just yet. Shh. But I haven't done them just yet. There's some lentils. Thank you. As promised, here's a Springer treat. My own recipe. Come back for more whenever you'd like. Can I actually get more whenever I'd like? You lie. I can't go back for more whenever I'd like. That's an outrageous lie. Okay, so we can go to Diviner's Reach now. Or we can go to Brightwater Inlet. Brightwater Inlet? Is that what the name of the bottom left area? It's interesting doing this with a character that's never explored the map because we don't get stuff unfogged. Found at a bandit camp above Prickle Patch Village. Alright, I'm going to go to Prickle Patch Village because I know where that is. That's the Choya place. And I'm guessing, you know, we can click that there. Okay, Bright Water waypoint is there. Alright, so we can go to the watery area while we're en route to the Choya place as well. So that's nice. WP, the harefoot herb is next to the griffin nest. The tooltip is misleading, and I searched mountains for hours for nothing. That's cool, North Stars, that you said that, and thanks for the help, but there's lots of griffin nests, so I'm not sure that's actually narrowed it down too much for me. Well, it has a fair bit. WP, what do you recommend me to buy with gems after I get the copper-fed salvage kit? I have 2,000 gems now. I don't think you can ever understate these account slot. These universal account slots for the inventory. They're really, really good. And when you put a salvage-o-matic in them, they're excellent. There's kind of a list of things that people say, you know, these are essentials, essentially, from the gem store. Maybe Twitch can give you some more advice. What are some other ones, guys? Oh, apparently there is only one roost per map. Okay. The griffin nest with the icon on the map. Okay. Why do I remember claiming multiple eggs, though? Bank tab, says Valen. Yeah, Valen's got a point there. But, I mean, it depends how frugal you are, because you can also just make new characters, right? And it's much less convenient, obviously. Endless mining tools. Those are pretty good. I mean, not that essential, but they're all right. Okay, so we're going to Brightwater Inlet first, right? So if it's merchants we speak to, then perhaps it's this merchant over here, and we give them our supplies. A script, really? Away, go now. Deal with the shoes. What issues?
No supplies! Supplies from High Jump Ranch! Supplies to come, but not here.
Oh, so he won't actually sell us stuff until we give him supplies.
Supplies, yes, need supplies. Thank you, but no Springer treats now. Bigger issues.
What bigger issues?
Bandits! Bandits take my shinies! Every sale they take them. Need them. Go get them. No sweaters here. Bring me shinies. Then give Springer treats.
Okay, fine. So, we kill bandits. Recover his bag of shinies. Where were the bandits again? To the northwest. Okay, so this way. Oh, I'm glad you guys enjoyed that script voice because that really hurt my throat. It's not easy to do that voice when I'm going on X many hours. What people really I thought that script voice was worse than my old ones. I thought I did some better script voices than that in the past. I thought that one was teetering on the edge of not being very good. That was like too shrill and shouty. Someone should hire me to do voice acting for the whole game. Listen, I know that's a bit of a meme, alright? But I'm deadly serious. Let's do it. Alright, so bandits. These are harpies. These are not bandits. But we are in the northwest. Well, I'll have to try and remember exactly how I did that script voice then for any future attempts. Any advice for me on this one, guys? This is basically just Twitch teaches me how to play the game. So this is the Choya area. And this is where we were looking for the there was something else up here, right? The prickle patch. Found high on the mountain cliffs west of the Butts. Found at a bandit camp above prickle patch. So that's the shinies bag. I mean, I vaguely remember seeing some bandits really high above the prickle patch. Oh, here's some bandits. We're close. Man, NG Larry's getting there before us every single time. WP exposed, not an earth apple, but a script. What do you mean earth apple? What? Bandit or bag of shinies. Here you go, script. This feels good. I like getting this bag. If I was like more forced to fight these mobs, this would be really quest-like. Not saying that that's the way that they should have done it, but just an interesting thought. You should do a YouTube video that you voice act all of the characters in a part of the story. Yeah, but I don't really have much range. I've got like a script and I've got a racist Tengu voice. What else have I got? Let's be honest. None of the women I ever voice sound any good. They sound ridiculous. I maybe have Lumpy Space Princess. I can put that one in the, in the bag. And I can also, you know, do my regular accent for maybe a Sylvari. That's it. I'm tapped after that, guys. It's over. So unless your adventuring party and story step includes a Sylvari, a script, a Tengu, and what was the other thing? And like an incredibly campy man. I don't think that I don't think I can do it. I could voice act that though. If somebody does a you know, a fan fiction of an adventuring party interior of that makeup, I'll do that. You can tell people to get away from the summer. Oh, dude, that makes me so happy that you said that. You know, the 10 Let's Play was a while ago now. And that people still remember that. Stay away from the summoner. I don't know. I can't do it right now. But yeah, there was that as well, I guess. No, you don't get to hear the Tengu one. It's only appropriate when there's a Tengu. I feel like it's another, you know, step above of racism to just randomly do it. Anyway, there you go. Yes, I want a treat. Thank you. Now give me that food. Give me some of that right there. Nom 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 nom. Look how pretty he looks while he's eating, and then he gets the little love heart. Oh, it's so cute. That's so amazing. Springer is my favorite. In fact, do you know what makes this Springer the best Springer? What we do. Why am I being attacked? Why isn't... a mower randomly attacking me? Jesus Christ, bugger off. Here's what we do for the ultimate Springer, all right? We pick the spooky Springer. And we do a mix of various pinks, including pink ice. Oh, that's not good enough. Let's just go pure hot pink. There we go. Beauty. And now we have the ultimate Springer. All right. I wonder if there's a way to color this just right so that the sort of the skeleton bone makeup goes away and it just looks sort of a uniform pink. Basically, you'd have to dye... What's the one variety of pink I don't have, by the way? Electro pink, huh? You'd have to dye, like... You'd have to get that one darker, right? Like rose or something, I think. That one down there. Yeah, there you go. That blends it in a bit more. But in the preview it does. But in game it's like pretty awful. At least now I no longer have to decide whether to alt-tab out of this stream. Oh, look, this is what mount skins were made for, man. I don't know why you're going against the meta. Because clearly this is the only way to play. Alright, lastly we've got Merchant Awoona for delivering her shipment and locating a rare desert herb. So can I get the herb first, or do I have to go to Awoona first? I guess Awoona's probably not very far away, right? Because Diviner's Reach is... this, isn't it? Is that Diviner's Reach? What's Diviner's Reach? It's been area names in the other things. Oh no, here's Diviner's Reach. Alright, so it's the start of the map. So let's go over there. You've seen all white griffins, they look sick. If you pick the herb first, you get ruined plant fibers. Interesting. Okay, so we're at Diviner's Reach and Merchant Awoona should be around here. So again, we're looking for legitimate merchants. Only legitimate ones. We're not looking for, you know, any kind of fences. NG Larry stood over there. So either that's where the herbs are, or that's where the merchant is. But it's saying Diviner's Reach. I don't actually see any merchant icons anywhere. Neither big map nor mini map. So let me just quickly unfog this. It's not. It didn't say east, did it? NG Laru said to come to the Makali outpost. I mean, this is the brand. No one's going to be out there. Or in theory, no one should be out there. She goes away for an event and you need to complete it. Really now? Damn. Okay, well, so look, I'm just going to go to NG Laru and we'll see what we're doing. WP, are you using Guild Wars 2 Hook? I am, yes. I'm using Guild Wars 2 Hook and I'm not chain loading it with the mount software, which means that I'm clicking my mounts here. This is not a deliberate troll if you're seeing me do this at any point. It's just because I haven't taken the time to chain load the two. So yeah, this is Guild Wars 2 Hook. This is a little preset I made a couple of months back now, actually. WP, how do you react after the pizza comes 2 hours after you've ordered it? I'm sad. I don't think I've ever experienced that. 2 hours? Jeez, man. Maybe pizza delivery is really bad where you are? Or it depends on the kind of restaurant it is or whatever. I reckon if I ordered Indian, I could expect like a 2-hour wait. And there's stuff like Deliveroo and what's that other one? You know, services like that that go to your local town center or whatever and buy stuff from the restaurant and then ship it over to you. Stuff like that. That can take like 2 hours. But pizza tends to be pretty quick, I think, actually. You'd expect to get it for free if it took 2 hours? I mean, maybe it's like a busy day or whatever. I assume that everyone who's on there who talks to me is an American. So what, you know, if you order pizza on like Super Bowl day, wouldn't that be tricky? Wouldn't that be a tough one? Call them and tell them about the issue and ask if you can receive a credit. If you are polite, they will most likely give you a free one next time. There you go. You've never ordered anything online that came the same day. Oh man, Amazon deliver incredibly fast to my area now. Like 2 hours. I remember it used to just be a thing right in the heart of London where they would deliver... Oh, but these are the herbs. No, no, no. This is just going to give us ruined plant. Oh, no, it isn't. Okay. And so now we're going to go do the event for the merchant. Yeah, it used to be just like right if you were in London or near one of their like, you know, warehouses, you could get an hour-based delivery. But now the catchment areas for that are huge. There's all kinds of stuff going on with Amazon now. They're cornering so many places. It's so weird that the same company that can deliver you, you know, fresh food and stuff within like 2 hours is the same company that people are giving their money to for, you know, that's kind of funding me here through Amazon Prime. It's so weird. On that note, if you want to support my stream, Amazon Prime is free. And it helps me out. So we got to recover supplies, perhaps? We're just kind of flying around like a vulture here. Are we in the right place? We're just sort of standing around. I don't think that these people are doing anything. I'm going to go over to do... I mean, that event's a million miles away. This event is really far away, so I can't imagine it's that. Res some guys, maybe? She is here. No need for an event. And he's sat down. Oh, she's just in the town, apparently. Okay. All right, fine. Do you think ArenaNet's going to nerf the Fractal 40 farm? No, I don't know what the Fractals team are going to do with that. I, once upon a time, believed that their next Fractal that they would revamp was going to be the Molten Duo. Because... I don't know, they could do like a challenge mode on that. Because basically, Nightmare, when Nightmare was added, it was like a new boss fractal, right? The logic behind a lot of this breaks down now that we see how Chaos, Nightmare, and Observatory have gone. But they kind of did that. There were various like slight revamps to Mitrin as well. And I don't know, like it feels like it would be a good idea to revamp all of those boss fractals. The Jademore, Mitrin, and the Duo to bring them like on par and put challenge motes on them. I think challenge motes on boss fractals could be really exciting. I don't know. Do you guys have memories of playing like side scrollers on PS1 or whatever? And every now and then you'd have a boss level and it's just a level dedicated to a boss and it's this really big, awesome set piece. Fractals could be delivering that. And they've got 4 big candidates for it already. And, you know, the fact that one of them's on constant farm. It was before the Lake Doric release. The devs announced that they were going to do a leather farm. And I thought that the leather farm would be repeatable farm based on a challenge mode, based on a revamped Molten Duo that would also fix the Fractal 40 phenomenon at the same time. I thought that that would be really intelligent, compact way to have handled the game at that time. And that's what my guess was. And then it ended up just being, you know, the leather farm was a random thing in the open world map, and the fractal that came, there wasn't a fractal that came, and blah blah blah. So, because of course Lake Doric was right after Bitterfrost Frontier, and Bitterfrost Frontier was the one that had given us Nightmare. So this guy doesn't say anything to me. Sorry, my supplies haven't arrived yet. Try coming back later. I have them! Thank you! I've been waiting here forever. I would have a Springer treat to give you, but I'm out of the one key ingredient I need for it. If I get it, will you make me one? Gladly. It's a rare herb, hare's foot, poisonous to all but Springers. You can find it in the mountains west of here, across that giant mesa in the center of the desert. Got it. I'll come back when I have that herb. Dude, that reminds me of a Little Big Adventure thing. Do you have it? This is great news! Thank you. As promised, here's a Springer treat. Enjoy, and come back whenever you want some more. And we don't even have to feed the Springer the last treats. I mean, we can for experience that is worth nothing. Maybe I should have saved these for, you know, the start of Living World Season 4. If anyone's watching this and wants to do this, maybe save your treats so you can... I mean, it's so stupid, though. Why would you even care to power level something you'll be done with in a couple of seconds anyway? Here we go. So let's feed our beautiful Springer. There you go. Lovely. It's all eaten. Please ignore that horrendous, like, stupid noise I just made. Let's pretend that didn't happen. And, yeah, there we go. Cool. So we get a mastery point. And we get Springer backpacking done. Nice. There's so many things on it. Look at all this shit on this map that I haven't done. Joyously join in on the fire dance. Really? That's at the Choya area. I guess I'll go do that. Let's go. I said ignore it. Not type lol. No way. There's Althea's Ashes as an item in Guild Wars 2. I remember farming those for some quick cash. Are you trolling or are you serious that you've just learned about that because you've just come back? They are. They're a pretty meta item as well. Alright. Tig Carstig saying that rabbit imitation's so good. You're now making me lose trust even more in Twitch's lovely compliments about my script earlier. Why do you look like a potato, WP? Well, because I am utterly hairless and I spend all of my life indoors eating Doritos and it's made me particularly round. And you too, for what it's worth, can look like a potato. Man or woman, adopt this YouTubing lifestyle. And the potato life is just within reach. Yeah, it's kind of, isn't it like vaguely cannibalistic for a potato to eat a Dorito? Because Doritos are potato chips. Alright. So yeah, the Choya. Oh, I should have griffined probably. It's alright. It's not a big deal. You've never had Doritos before. Doritos are pretty nice, but like when they're quite famous for, you know, like overweight nerds, because if you're an overweight nerd that gets addicted to Doritos are like, if you look at the caloric content of eating Doritos, it's like ludicrous. Like it's insane. And they're kind of one of those food items that's very, like, snackable. So, yeah. Pretty dangerous. And I'm in complete understanding as to where that stereotype comes from. Alright, so, here we get some beautiful music. I want to make sure my audio is set up correctly. Yeah, you guys should be able to hear it. Here we go. Ooh. What is this mysterious cave? Hell yeah, baby. All right, I danced. Did I get the achievement? I had my UI toggled off. No, we didn't get the achievement. What is this? This reminds you of Crash. Yeah, it's very Crash-like, isn't it? There we go. Fire Dancer. Man, I should have done this on my first time here. This is such a cool area, isn't it? Isn't this just so awesome? All right. Well, there we have it. So what else we got? I'm actually going to waypoint away just because the audio is super loud. All right, so what else have we got here? I'll read a chat in a second. Oh, Reaper of the Awakened I'm really close to. Yeah, let's finish that. Why not? Let's finish Reaper of the Awakened. Now, my Guardian has only been as far south as the Skimmer Ranch, but that's pretty close to Awakened Forces, so we'll go there. So Lobster RS says, I'm having a tough time trying to decide between a Tempest or a Daredevil for my first playthrough of Heart of Thorns and beyond. What do you think would be easier? That's a hard one. It depends how you build the Tempest. I think that if you run the right kind of Tempest build, like a Dagger Warhorn, Orrery, Protection, Regen, Vigor, but nonetheless Zerky. But I think if you run that, that's way more quality of life than any Thief build. But Thief builds have quality of life in other respects. They can move really fast. They can stealth for channeling things and escaping tricky situations. if you play it well enough, you can utilize blind, like, to give yourself a massive advantage, really. Now, in Heart of Thorns, you start seeing more break bars and stuff, so it's not as amazing as it was in Corteria, but it's still extremely strong. You also get lots of evades when you're running staff, enough AoE splash damage, you hit hard. If you run the Heal Signet and the Critical Strikes Grandmaster, you get like a lot of sustain as well there, and that's a pretty high quality of life build. So I don't know, it's pretty close. I think it's pretty close. I think it's much easier to build a shit. It's pretty easy to build shit open world builds for both of them though. So I don't know actually. Maybe Twitch chat can take the ball further than that. Yeah, and someone's just articulated it much better than me. They're both very squishy if you build for max DPS. And there's kind of a thing with Guild Wars where that's all you're going to read online you should be doing. But with the correct compromises made, I think they can both be super good choices. Actually, I'll tell you what. I'm going to say Thief, because I think Thief does have the upper hand, the clear upper hand in terms of its mobility and its stealthing to be able to channel stuff. I think it's got that, but also I think that the idea of what you are as a Daredevil feels a lot purer, and it's just more gratifying than what it means to play a well-rounded Tempest build. You're going to feel like a badass bow staff wielding acrobatic ninja dude as a Daredevil. You're gonna feel like that, and the gameplay is going to feel like that. It's going to work very well as a well-rounded Tempest, as much efficacy as it has and so on. Yeah, you get the fun flavor of like the overloads and stuff, but running around blowing a war horn and the bouncing of the auras and sort of you know, keeping the boons and stuff up, I don't know whether it's as clear cut, you know. For a new person who's expecting kind of a, you know, one of these raw sort of blunt fantasy experiences in an RPG, I think probably Daredevil hits that better. So my recommendation is Daredevil. There you go. People might disagree with that. Warden Adian said subs. Did I have a sub? That's interesting. Jerry01, it's good to see you. 26 months, Jerry. 26 months. My goodness gracious me. And thanks to all the people who followed as well, by the way. If you guys came to this stream from YouTube, but you don't really use Twitch much, you can click a follow button, and that's basically the same as a YouTube subscription. It means you'll get notified when I go live here. And you don't have to rely on me putting up a YouTube video to announce it or whatever. Which I'm not always very consistent with doing. And that's deliberate. But yeah. Okay, how many more awakened? It's not many. 9 more. 26 good months. I'm glad you think so. That's very heartwarming. Do you think they should have done more with Palawa in the Halloween event other than just getting a chief for killing his minions? That's one of those silly questions. I'm not trying to be mean to you, but the answer to that is always going to be yes, I'd like more. You know? Obviously, it would have been nice to have more. You know, but are you saying, you know, should they have... The real discussion is, what's the compromise they should have made? Would I have preferred them to not add the Labyrinth race, but instead add something related to Palawa, right? Would I prefer them to have not added more Mad Memories, but instead to have done, you know, something more with Palawa? Stuff like that. I don't know, really. Because we got some interesting little lore tidbits this year. The Halloween story seems very stagnant. Yeah, I think it's a dicey, tricky thing to deal with, to be honest. Like, they're hinting at this idea that he comes out for a week and soon he'll be out for the entire month and blah, 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 blah. But you saw them struggle with what the logical endpoint of that was in Guild Wars 1 too. I don't know whether they have any real plans to push it further. There's bigger fish to fry right now, I think. But then there's kind of the point, there's always going to be bigger fish to fry than the Halloween story. If Guild Wars ever gets to the point where all of its stories are done except Halloween and nothing else, and Halloween is now the most interesting thing, I suggest there's a bit of a different problem on our hands. How do you feel about the Gen 2 legendaries being crafted with parts that can't be bought off the TP? Makes Gen 2 legendary ones less impressive. Also, do you think ArenaNet is going to include Path of Fire content into the creation of new legendaries like Heart of Thorns had a gift of Muguma? To your second question, I believe the answer to that is no, because that's still sort of a Heart of Thorns sale thing, I think. As to your first question, I like that there's more account binding and that they're more based on actual effort and your own participation in the game rather than just buying stuff with raw gold. I think that's good. As to the idea that it now makes the original Gen 1s look worse, I don't think that's really fair. I think they look bad anyway. There were always people saying Guild Wars 2 has no end game because its legendaries are no indication of skill. And I mean, I find all these discussions incredibly juvenile and boring to me as well. Oh, it has to. The only things worthwhile in games are pure skill, and if there's any potential possibility to ever bypass that with, you know, just straight up buying something, and then that leads into your credit card, no matter how ludicrous and unlikely it is for someone to have done it, that automatically discredits the entire system. I've always loathed people who act that way. I think it's, you know, such a one-track-minded way of looking at the world. But people have always said that, you know, about the Gen 1 ones, and I think there's some worthwhile criticism in that too. So the fact that Heart of Thorns then added ones that you couldn't do that you know, it was already looking bad. It didn't take the Heart of Thorns fix for people to scratch their head and say, hang on. First time watching the stream at work, it feels wrong. Dude, it is wrong. What if your employer comes? What you need to do is get... Do you have a webcam on that PC? Listen, there's some amazing little software. Referral links in the description. I'm doing a little cheeky promotion. I'm not actually. I don't even know the name of the software anymore. But there's this cool thing that I read about a while ago, where if you have a laptop, if you have a webcam, it's a little discrete piece of software that runs on your desktop for your workplace. And what it does is it turns the webcam on, so the webcam is always recording, and it'll be looking at your ugly mug the entire time, right? But the point is, the second it sees someone come behind you or move, you know, enter your office or come behind the desk or whatever, if it's a more open plan place like where I used to work, the second it sees that, it alt tabs a defined window that you want, or it turns it off, or, you know, it splashes something up on the screen. So you'll never be snuck up on for browsing Reddit or playing a game or doing whatever, because this thing, your webcam will spy for you. How good is that? It was amazing. Very clever. All right, so that's the Awaken thing, but I do want to go back to the Desert Highlands to do more of these. You do construction. Oh, are you on a work site? Dude, I'm imagining you sitting on some scaffolding out in the sun. One of those classic, like, 1940s metallic, round-topped lunch boxes with a sandwich in it made from your missus. And a woman that looks a little bit like Marilyn Monroe is wandering down below you, and you're giving her a wolf whistle. And you've got a little screen next to you, one of those old portable TVs, and on that is the Wood and Potatoes stream. I had a nice host. Why do people host when I'm doing... Wow, really? I did? Who is this? Him Mila. 3 minutes ago as well. I'm so sorry. What crap was I talking about there? Him Mila, thank you so much for the host, dude. I'm really, really ashamed to say I don't actually know who you are. I'm going to look you up right now. Hello to everyone from Himmela. Himmela? What does Himmela play? Hosting WP. Alright, I'm snooping on their channel now. They raid. Oh, they're from Snow Crows. Really? Well, I feel terrible about that. I didn't realize you were in Snow Crows. That's so cool, though. Thanks very much. And I recommend everybody in my audience, if you guys want to go check them out, I'll put a link to them in chat for you all, and maybe you can go follow them. It looks like they mostly do raiding streams. I'm looking at VG thumbnail. I'm looking at lots of at the aerodrome. I'm looking at a Cairn attempt and stuff like that. So yeah, it seems like that's mostly what it is. But if that's up your alley, if you guys enjoy that, there's a link for you all. Thanks very much. You had quite a lot of viewers. Did you build that in the Guild Wars 2 scene as well? That's pretty cool to see. Himmela, you mean Hermela? Are they in chat? I'm looking furiously to see. That's a movie intro if I've ever heard one. Yeah, like a weird, like, alternate reality where old 1940s style stuff is going on, but somehow people are watching live streams nonetheless. Like, let's reimagine the 1920s, but imagine the internet existed in its full capacity as it does right now, with everything from chat roulette to twitch.tv to TV tropes and every other website you ever liked. It's just that it's the 1920s, culturally, technologically, everything, except that everyone has the internet. Somebody build me that world. Tell me a story in that world. 400 gems, go. Alright, now let's actually find a safe place. Fire Dancer, that was pretty comfortable. What else we got? Bleeding Heart. Help the nomads in Diviner's Reach by completing all of the task requests 5 different times. Sorry, so this is just telling me to do the heart at Diviner's Reach 5 times. That's what this is telling me. So, can I do that on alternate characters? Flameseeker Prophecies, cough cough. Yeah, we'll... well, how long have we been streaming? A while. Is the meta up right now? I'll do a round of it if the meta's up. If you guys can confirm that to me. So what else we got here? Revive victims of heat exhaustion, stomp dormant choya, destroy tar traps, help hunt game, and distribute meat to butchers. Alright, let's stomp that dormant choya. I'll cut this sapling. Yeah, I agree with Cottage in chat there. Dungeons are surprising. You know, there's so many examples in this MMO of things are the way they are, not because of facts, but just because that's how they're believed to be. Dungeons are believed to be a complete waste of time and completely unprofitable. But if you actually dig, you will see there are people who do very efficient dungeon tours and really have learned how to refine, maximize their profit, and you can actually earn some pretty sweet money from them. I'm not saying it's the most engaging content. I'm not saying that it can compete in terms of like the gameplay itself to like raiding or fractals and stuff. But in terms of profit, it's still there. There is definitely still profit there. But they got a bit of a reputation. They're believed to not be profitable en masse, and so of course that makes it true apparently. But they do get a bad rap. And for what it's worth, I kind of enjoy them just as a bit of a nostalgia-ish kick, or just as something different. Especially when I get a new build. I like getting a new build and like soloing dungeons on a new build, or 2-manning dungeons on a new build that feels really strong and OP. Yeah, pugging dungeons is pretty frustrating, definitely. Pugging dungeons is really frustrating for an odd reason. A lot of you are going to think, oh, it's because there's new people there and they don't know what they're doing. No. The reason that pugging dungeons is tough is because, yes, sometimes you've got total new people who have got no idea what they're doing. And, you know, if you run a DPS meter or whatever, you're going to realize that they're doing, like, maybe 10% of the work, right? Yeah, that's a bit of a problem. But there's another side as well, and it's actually established players. Most of them are also terrible at dungeons. And it's not because they have bad builds, and it's not because they don't like to look at their little rotation videos and stuff. It's because they don't understand why the game works the way that it does. Like, they'll still stack on years-old stack spots and push people against walls, despite the fact FGS doesn't exist anymore and hasn't existed, and it's much easier to just temporal curtain. Like, if you're playing a Mesmer in a dungeon run, and you charge forward, or a Firebrand now, I guess as well, right? And you just put that cheeky little suck all the mobs to a vacuum. Most people you encounter in Guild Wars 2 dungeon scene, they won't react to that. They'll still just go stack in a corner to LOS the mobs, even though it's a complete waste of time. And there's other things as well, like there's so much power creep in the game now. And TA is a great example for this. There is so much power creep in the game. It is extremely easy to burst groups of enemies down. And you get loot from those enemies, but also much, much, much safer routes through. But people will, like, do these weird run strats where they have no stealth or whatever, and they're playing with pugs, and there's no coordination or communication. But instead of taking genuinely about 3 seconds to kill a group of Nightmare Court or whatever, they'll try and run past And they'll put everyone into an every man for themselves situation, and then everyone like dies, and you get these really slow runs because people are trying to skip. When the skip culture is like, it's archaic, it's anachronistic. It's like, it doesn't need to be there. So like you get pugging dungeons is really weird at the moment, not because there's new people, just because there's new people and people that don't know how to play, but it's also because there's a weird mix of people who think that the game is still 2012, 2013, and I always get very kind of judgy and sad actually when I see that, because it's like, it just demonstrates something very clearly. Most people who play this game, not just this game, but MMOs, gaming in general, they don't actually think about the game. They don't actually know why things are done. They don't think about why their build works the way it does. They don't know why people LOS. They don't know why people move here or do that. They are on genuine autopilot. It's just that they've seen their friends do it this way before, or they've watched a video where it's done this certain way, and they just follow, right? Like, it's just, people generally speaking really en masse will be lemmings like that, and they just don't get it. And that's true across Fractals and Raids as well. It's just not important there because those areas of the game are updated, and so community opinions and the leaders of the community keep people on track. You know, it's why it's so hard to pug a raid when the wing comes out versus 4 months after it's been out. Because 4 months after it's out, people can just be lemmings and it doesn't matter. The month that it comes out, or, you know, the first few days / week that it comes out, you actually need to know how to play the game to be able to make a strat for yourself and understand why it works and do that kind of stuff. And most people just aren't capable of it. So, you know, when you see someone in 2017 using an FGS stack spot, it's sad. On a very deep level, it's sad to me, because it's like, man, because again, I've pointed this out before, it's not about putting myself on a pedestal higher than someone else by saying, oh, I understand the game and you don't. It's that Guild Wars is really fun when you do understand the game. Really fun. When you know why skills are interacting in the ways they are, and why comps are set up the way they are, and why we stand in certain places and stuff, you get so much more out of it. There's so much more to appreciate. I'm not even a good player, really. I'm not a great player. But, you know, I took the time to learn why things are done the way they are done, and you know, tried to make strats of my own on occasion. Not that they've necessarily always been successful. And for years, I've not really been, you know, in that position. Anyway, so yeah, that's just another little side to dungeons. But are dungeons profitable if you've got a group that does them? Absolutely. They really are. And there'll be a breath of fresh air for someone that's sick of doing their daily fractals or sick of doing their daily raids. Someone asked me earlier on the stream, how do you keep invested in the game? You know, that's an easy thing to do. Raid consistently until that bores the hell out of you, then fractal consistently till it bores the hell out of you, then dungeons consistently till it bores the hell out of you, then repeat or try out World vs. World PvP. I mean, this just goes on and on and on, right? What's this? You're on the Guardian? Where would you go for that information to get it then? That's a good question. I mean, there are various YouTubers out there that have tried explaining things. I actually don't think that... And this is partly my fault, because I could have offered this at any point. I don't think there's any really good guides. Certainly not contemporary ones. So there we go. We got nap time there. I don't even know what that is. Apparently, this was a bonus for this event. Like an episode 1 to 10 series that does really short, to-the-point descriptions of, like, here is why Temporal Curtain is absolutely overpowered, and this is what you should understand about what your Mesmer's doing. You know, someone that goes out there and says on the record, yeah, probably one of the most incredible quality of life convenience things that the Mesmer brings to the table for dungeons is not just quickness and stuff, but it's, you know, it's the quality of life of those Temporal Curtains, right? That allows you to charge in and do this and this and this. What's some other, like, classic examples? There's just a lot of it that goes on, basically. There were never in-depth dungeon guides. No, I disagree with that. There was, like, a golden era of dungeons. Shortly, probably Season 2 days, I would say. In the Season 2 days, I think that we had several guilds who were very good at doing dungeons, understood them very well, were pretty bored by them as well because it had been a long time, and we're starting to do 2-mans, 3-mans. I think the Season 2 days were where we probably had the most number of, like, loopy solos and stuff going on. But I think people have been... there has been a golden age for dungeons, and there was a lot of good information going around at that time, definitely. Hello, can you give advice? I'm thinking of installing the newest reshade for Guild Wars 2, but I've never used it before. Question is, will it reduce my FPS? Just to increase color saturation, no, it won't. Reshade is just a tool, and depending on what effects you load into it and the intensity of those effects, it will change based on FPS. But loading something very small in, like a bit more saturation, you don't have to worry about that. That won't hit your FPS very hard at all, promise. Depends on the resolution you're playing and the strength of your system and card and stuff, but generally. Boss is coming back to check on me. Have a good day, y'all. Hope there's a way to retroactively watch a stream. There is. You just they save the videos as VODs and you can watch those. I also have a second YouTube channel called Wooden Potatoes 2, where I save all of that information. All right, let's go back to do that heart now, shall we? I've played a ton of dungeons recently, and trying to find any recent guide is impossible. Same with crafting. It's all multiple years old. Crafting's another good example of an old thing, yeah, as well. I'm just trying to think, what would I put in that guide? I mean, here's what the perfect guide would be. It would be a pug-oriented series about dungeons, and each episode in the series should cover a path, and it should talk about general movement. Because listen, Guild Wars 2 players generally these days, they're okay at running the right builds, and they're okay at running the right with respect to dungeons, and they're okay at like rotations, right? Or more so than they were in the past. Those were bigger problems in the past, I'd say. And all the power creepers meant that they're not so important, right? What's really important with dungeons now is moving right, aggroing mobs in the right way, and sort of that standard understanding. And so, like, yeah, I think that a series like that was oriented at this 60 to 80% player base, like pretty good people, but not intensely good. And, you know, the idea that you're going to be with people, pugs potentially. I think a series like that would go a long way. That would just say, hey, yeah, just kill the goddamn mobs. It's 2017. It will take you half a second. You get a ton of loot. Like, we're in a place... Twilight Arbor is a dungeon where you can spawn 3 champions and kill them or burn them all down all at once in maybe, like, 10 seconds. Get 3 champ boxes from it. And then just move on, right? And a champ box is also kind of devalued these days. But, you know, you can do that. But people never do. Because they remember getting absolutely annihilated by those mobs in years past. But you won't get annihilated by them anymore, or unless you're really struggling. You'd rather make a series about how not to be in a hurry? I mean, essentially that's what I'm advocating in some ways. I'm saying that quite often, the risks people put themselves in the pug scene for dungeons do not justify the potentially minor speed bonus you can get, given the power creep these days. Do you think ArenaNet's decision to rely on people's word-of-mouth advertising... There's other stuff. So, like, Guardian. This build is disgusting in dungeons. Like, genuinely, obscenely, grossly strong. Several tiers stronger than most other builds in all of Guild Wars 2. This build I'm playing right now. Who can tell me why? There you go. There's a quiz for you, Twitch chat. Why is this Guardian build so ridiculous as a dungeon build? And it's for a reason that is not relevant in Fractals. It's for a reason that is not relevant in raids. It's not particularly relevant in, like, expansion content. Stacking, burst damage, pulls and AoE, crit AoE. One person is sort of there. There you go. There you go. The Fabulous Non got it fully. The retaliation crit chance. Because what you guys have to understand is most dungeons are not level 80 content. They are less than level 80 content. And in less than level 80 content, one of your downscaled attributes, crit chance, your precision, it gets hit really hard. And so in a lot of dungeons, it takes quite a bit of investment to get 100% crit chance back. Now, most players in the game, A, don't understand how aggressively crit chance scales. B, don't change their build to account for it. C, don't realize how important it is. And so what it means is that this build specifically, Guardian, they have this trait here, right? Righteous in... no, where the hell is it? Am I even running it? Where the hell is it? Oh, yeah, it is this. Yeah, I was right. Righteous Instincts. I was right. So this trait here gives you a flat 50% crit chance increase, right? That won't downscale. So if you go and play this build in Ascalon Catacombs, on this build, you have obscene crit compared to everyone else. And if you, all it takes is to play that with a damage meter up. Play with any other DPS. You know, people think, oh, you know, Weaver is top DPS or whatever, or Tempest, if you've ever believed in it, whatever meta it would be. This outpressures them massively. Again, TA is a really good example. If I run this build in TA with a full good group, everyone's playing perfectly, but I'm the only Guardian, I will outdamage everyone else by an absolute monster load. Every single encounter, I'll just, like, completely leave everyone in the dust until the final boss. When you fight those trees, and those trees cannot be crit. Even with this trait, these trees can't be crit. And then all of a sudden, you know, I'll see like a Weaver in my party do more damage, or someone else might have a chance, or the gap will narrow massively. You know, Guardian is just obscene. And there are other traits like this in the game, obviously, as well. You know, stuff like that is what you pay attention to in dungeons, and you should look at that shit, and you should trait for that shit. But people don't. They just take their raid build and think, oh, if it's good for raids, it's good for dungeons. And again, it's an example of people don't understand the underlying system as a game. And that's really interesting, I think. You know? Because when you think of that, what other class, what other build in the game gets really obscenely high crit? Well, power, well, not just power, but, you know, Reaper can do it as well. I don't really know how that would look in dungeons, but that's something it's got going for it. And yeah, the lower level the dungeon, the more profound that will be. By the time you get to, like, COF, the difference is not that high anymore. But, you know, certainly for CM... And yeah, there's other reasons why this build's really strong as well. The pools are good, the bursts are good, the AoE is good. But why does it burst so hard? You know, these questions are answered by that. WP, why not you make these guides? Yeah, I thought of that earlier. I don't know. I guess the main reason is I'm very pessimistic people would want to watch them. I know that we're all interested in it because we've been talking about it on this stream, and you guys get the justification for it now because we've had a huge, massive, long conversation. But random people who have subscribed to Wooden Potatoes, if they see a video saying Dungeon Guide to Guild Wars 2 2017, they're not going to click it, I'm afraid. So it's probably a bit of a waste of time. It would be probably all right for the community for me to do something like that, or some slice of the community. But I don't know whether I'm up to the task. Power Rev with Invocation. Yeah, so Rev can get lots as well. I mean, it's not everything, but it's a big part of it. And again, seriously, play this Guardian build, run Arc DPS, watch and do like TA or something, and you'll see. Do it as a Patreon update, a how-to Guild Wars for $5 or more. Oh, I think that's even worse. If I don't fill up the task to do a free video on YouTube, I don't know whether selling it is going to help my confidence there. Oh yeah, I could always clickbait it and say insane gold out / an hour. Yep. You have to clickbait them with some other video title. Cogs of War news! Okay guys, so I'm going to teach you about Ascalon Catacombs P2 today. And yeah, you know, I said earlier, I think it's partly my fault, but you know, if contemporary guides and things like that were out there, it would help to make people realize there's a bit more going on with dungeons than people give credit for. Again, though, let me just temper this entire thing. I'm not saying the dungeons are the be-all and end-all and are super fun and stuff. Generally, they're far too easy, really, still, and they're not that engaging, and break bars did, you know, obliterate them and stuff. But I think, you know, stuff like that, the more informed people are, the better, because stuff like that, if you take someone who only ever raids and hasn't done dungeons for years and years and years, and sometimes does fractals, and you compare his balance opinions with someone who does lots of dungeons, lots of fractals, and the occasional raid, one of these people is going to have a much healthier opinion about the balance of Condi builds versus power builds than the other person. Because one of these people is going to appreciate that Condi has, like, no place anywhere except raids. And power is so strong everywhere else, you know. What's the max gold per hour converting gems to gold? Depends how fast you can input mummy's details, right? So, let's have a look here, right? I just did that. Bleeding heart, right, okay. So we need to do that a 5th time. Does that mean that there's an equivalent of that for all of them? Alright, once more we'll do this heart. Let's go this way. Who do we want to do it on? Let's do it on Reaper. Baron 4 says a comprehensive list of how much you make per run. Gold per hour always feels arbitrary since most groups don't actually perform at the top tier. Yeah, there's a really good Reddit post about profits in dungeons. I've never really min-maxed that or cared that much about it. But there's a really good post about profits. It was basically someone making the same point I am here today. And they were saying, listen, you all think there's no money in dungeons, but there's actually quite a lot. For those who are really out of the loop, here's what happened, okay? First, you just had the fact that the devs didn't properly update dungeons, didn't implement them well at launch at all anyway, but were not agile at all with keeping them up to date. And so, like, they weren't viewed very highly in the first place, right? But then with HOT, they this kind of abandonment of that content stream, if you will, which had been implicitly there the whole time. It was kind of made official, if you will, because when Heart of Thorns came out, the devs looked to shift the economy a bit, and they wanted to remove incentive from dungeons to place that incentive into other areas of the game, like raiding, which was being added, right? So the inclusion of raids, the continued lack of support for dungeons, and the nerfing of rewards in dungeons, all of these things basically set everyone into a furor of, oh my god, they don't do dungeons anymore. And especially that last bit where they did nerf the rewards on dungeons, that last bit, that basically meant it was dead to everyone. In the eyes of the community, this stuff just it didn't exist anymore, right? What people mostly forget after that, though, is when the Heart of Thorns 2.0 patch came out, they shifted a lot of rewards back into dungeons again, by the way of this new achievement here, Dungeon Frequenter, which gives you 5 gold on repeat plus 150 tokens, which can become more loot as well, especially if you have the right recipes, which are rare drops from dungeons and stuff. Most people, but the adding of this back in, people didn't really focus on that or care about that or look at that. It didn't get the credit it deserved. Because dungeons themselves weren't updated, and because raids were in there, and because Heart of Thorns 2.0 had a lot of other stuff going on. So you got to understand that, like, a lot of stuff happened that just made dungeons look terrible, and it put the community generally in a position where word on the street now is there's no money and there's nothing. But the truth is, since that Dungeon Frequenter came in, there's more money than you'd expect. So going way back to what this whole discussion started with, it kind of all began there, really. I would say, anyway. Spent hours exploring it, trying to get weapon pieces and figuring out vault stuff. What's this? What are we talking about? Do gold per hour video where you spend £10,000 on gems. Trust me, it's worth it for the views. Dude, if you pay for that, I will do that. Or would I do that? I don't know. I feel like I'd take a bit of a reputation hit there. Wouldn't I? Isn't that, like, kind of gross? I reckon people would be really pissed off and angry looking at something like that. Oh, I should have just defended the gates. Oh, okay, no, I can. It's not over. It's just starting. All right, that's good. So if we tag these, we can get a lot of life force here. Now, with a triple cleave on the autos here, we can sustain a lot of Shroud to just keep swinging away. Except I keep getting CC'd. I kind of want to use the other abilities, though. It helps. Why am I getting CC'd away from them? I don't see any fields or anything that would be causing that. Should really equip a dagger or something. But as long as these guys die, it's at a reasonable rate. All right, there we go. Now we got to go to the other gate as soon as possible. You've got to keep zigzagging backwards and forwards. But this event's really good for doing this heart. So here you're going to experience something cool, by the way. We're going to have barrier and we're going to be in Shroud at once for like a really meaty shield. Look at that. Oh, such health. Much tankiness. Beautiful. Right, let's slam him there. Imagine dungeons specific to Heart of Thorns and Path of Fire if ArenaNet hadn't abandoned them. Well, I just imagine they'd be a lot like Aether Path. I imagine they'd be a lot like raids. I imagine it's imagine a Venn diagram of raiding, Aether Path, and the new fractals. Just where they meet. That's a dungeon. That's what that dungeon would be. And honestly, I'm not sure that, you know, that to me is not actually. I'm sort of satisfied with the other three things. Do you get what I mean? I think the community is in a much more informed place these days, and it were an Aether Path style thing to release, I think people would actually, you know, they'd like it, because people generally didn't like Aether Path when it came out because it was too hard for them and too fiddly, and you know, not that Aether Path didn't have legitimate reasons to dislike it, but I think a lot of it was just really frustrating to deal with. If you weren't very good with aggro and coordinating with your allies and stuff like the ooze room, where you have to escort an ooze through that you can friendly fire and all of that stuff, I think those things would really have frustrated people. Man, these things are starting to die really quick now, actually. And my heart progress isn't going as high as I thought. But maybe there's lots more of the... Yeah, there's 5 more waves of these Awakens to kill, so... Makes sense. So this is some nice sturdy damage here, man. Just whack away, holding that skill 1, reading Twitch chat. Catch you later, Rain Pumpkin. Thanks very much. And yeah, it's been fun. I guess we probably won't do the Flameseeker Prophecies in the end today, then. I'm actually okay with that now that I think about it, though, because I kind of want all of that to be in videos. You tried Aether Path once and quit at the user room. Yeah, exactly, right? And it is a fiddly room. I'm not saying you can't do it 100% of the time and that there aren't really clever strats. And, you know, we've even seen Mesmers solo it and stuff, which is super fun. But, it is fiddly still, nonetheless. I mean, I've done streams showing it off as well, right? So you guys know what I'm talking about. I think the losing of the path really tarred it in people's minds even before it came out. Not saying it was a major issue, but it probably didn't help. Yeah, so if people don't know, Aether Path also got a bit of a bad rep. I mean, I'd agree with this. In part because they deleted an existing path to make room for it. This was like right in that sweet spot of the devs deleting shit and removing their own hard work constantly. And, you know, that was just another thing on the pile, I guess, right? We lost the original P3. Not that the original P3 was anything that great, right? I seem to remember it being really annoying. But that was the one with the spiders at the end, right? I think. But, you know, we lost that content. Instead of refining, fixing, tuning that content, and then adding an entirely new path on top, they just traded one for the other. And people don't want to have to make that trade. So now we got this boss, and I'll try and land some CCs while I can. Good. I'll wait with my skill 5 till his break bar's back up. And then I'll do that there. So there we have it. And then hopefully people can contribute to that nice and quick. Do you think ArenaNet's decision to rely on people's word of mouth advertisement is the right one? I personally can't imagine Guild Wars 2 gaining a lot of new players that way without putting its game out in the world for people to notice. The way it is right now, I feel like player count can only go down. I get your why you would question it, because I sort of feel the same way in some respects. But I also have to say I don't think I'm qualified to answer that question. I feel like stuff like that's really important, and like more important than anything else. The company cannot exist without a player base and people knowing that it's there. And you know how advertising your product is like, it's extremely important. And very intelligent people, presumably, are paid, and their entire job is to do that and to generate profits and make sure. And so if someone who's, you know, been out there in the industry has made that decision and believes that word of mouth advertising is the best thing to do, I don't know from what world I can presume to know better than them based on my intuition. Intuitively, I get what you're saying, but not everything in life is intuitive, and maybe it is the most cost-effective way of managing the game. Maybe traditional adverts and stuff like that, like we're used to from the other games, still do perhaps. Maybe they're not actually that useful for a game like this. I don't know. I just don't feel qualified to comment on it, you know. So I got a really sexy flesh golem charge there. I'm loving how quickly we're chunking this. It's good, guys. Warhorn. Beauty. And that's Bleeding Heart done. Very nice. Whew. Okay. There's so much in the Desert Highlands. The Pied Piper. Tame 4 different species of animals for the ogres. I haven't tamed a single kind of species for the ogre. Tame a hyena, a sand shark, an eel, and a gazelle. So that we go over to that heart, I guess, and we do some stuff there. What's this? Smashing! Nigel Thornbury! Smashing! Defeat Eleutherius Wintergust without being hit by his pot attacks 3 consecutive times. Wow. Break in the bank. I mean, these again. The Lost Doliac. Search Brightwater Inlet for Jeppa's Lost Doliac and then speak to Jeppa. Ha! Find Bismuth in the inlet and then help Jeppa reach her destination and talk to her about Bismuth. This is interesting. Let's go do that. That sounds really cool. Let's go back to Bright. And I like the area as well. Brightwater. Taming the pet event is up. It's not the heart. It's an event. Oh, okay. All right. I'll do that then. Have I been there on my Scourge? Yes, I have. So we just do the event. Talk to Jolg. No, that's gather wood for repairs. I think it's actually quite far south then. So to everyone using AdBlock, there was lots of conventional advertising in Path of Fire, at least 3 different YouTube ads, as well as Google ads on random pages. That's true as well, yeah. I wonder if I sort of perpetuated this word of mouth thing a bit too much, because, you know, I was really taken by Mo's comment in one AMA, but maybe it's not the be-all and end-all to them. Maybe we have this as sort of a weird impression of it at the moment. Ogre flutes. Because, yeah, there were definitely ads, elite specialization ads specifically. A flute that can tame animals once they are stunned. So this is an ogre flute. There are sand sharks over here. So if I... So I've stunned them and now I'm singing my song. Oh god, it sounds really creepy. Don't worry, the ogres will take good care of you. And now he goes in. Wow, the audio on that's so interesting. Does that count? Did I get achievement credit there? Yeah, I did. The Pied Piper. We tamed a sand shark. Okay. So now let's go tame some sand eels. Oh, wait. We can stun some. So this is a special action, not a environmental weapon, so I can shroud. Oh, you wanker. Wow, I love the audio design of this. Oh, but everyone else is stealing them. This guy got his cut channel before mine, so I think he's going to take it. Yeah, he did. Fuck. You. I need to actually get one. Everybody else is stealing my sand. Oh, but you're a sand shark. I need an eel, man, not a shark. It's going to be done in a second. There's an eel. Come on. Oh my god, he's a veteran. I don't have shroud. He's going to take ages because I only have a friggin' axe. Right, go. Really weird. Yeah, this does remind me of Nintendo games right there. Other players are ninjaing my sand eels. Yeah, I know, right? It's gross. This is not what Guild Wars 2 is supposed to be about. Look, there's a gazelle, and I'm going to ninja this from this guy. Are you ready? Oh, what? No, I ran out of my... No! Where's my flute gone? Why did I lose my flute? I couldn't ninja. Ogre flutes. Thank you. Let's just go check as well here. The Pied Piper, yeah, we got 2. So we need a gazelle now. And something else. Hey, WP, can I join the Spud Club or Spud 2? Yeah, you check out Discord for an invite instructions. It's very... you got to read it carefully and do it properly. We don't just invite people. You can't just throw money at us and get in either. Well, the event failed? How? Alright, well, we got half of that. Have I got a lot of good contest videos recently for the POF contest? Recently, I'm not sure. I think if Welk's still been accepting them, he might have accepted some that I haven't seen. I'm actually worried that people are forgetting about it. I think I should probably do a video that just says, alright guys, listen, I'm not going to do a big song and dance for you here, but just want to remind you, this competition's a thing. When they announce Living World, you might only have 1 week, right? And remember, it ends when Living World starts, so please do go do it. I think I should probably do that, because I'm a bit worried people are forgetting about it. I think we're on currently, like... I don't know, actually. Maybe I can check here. Hold on. Is there a number on the page? I haven't logged in on this for a while, actually, so hold on. Log in. Submissions. There's 1 new submission here, which I've got to look over before I accept. Yeah, I'd have to ask Welk how many we've got. I think last I heard we were on around 300. I think 300 submissions, which is pretty damn nice. What I kind of want to do is I kind of want to beat 900. I want to beat 900 because that would make our competition bigger than the designer weapon from the devs themselves. And I'm pathetic enough to want to be able to make that comparison. But we're a long way from that. So unless there's some kind of major spike right in the run-up to the deadline, I don't know whether we'll get there. Who's asking more of their competition? Me asking people to make videos, or the devs asking people to design weapons? Probably they're asking more. There's not so many people with artistic talent as there are that can potentially make a video. And have a persuasive talent, let's put it that way. Well, okay, so I'll probably leave it there, guys. off stream, I might keep going on these achievements because I'm quite enjoying these, and I do really need to play a lot of Ellen Riverlands to get the Flameseeker Prophecies to do that video, which I know a lot of people are anxious for. So I'll probably leave it there. If anybody's got anything they want to say, please do feel free. We had that cool host. Remember, once I stop going live, I'm not going to host anyone myself today. But remember, when I ceased to be live, you can go browse other areas of Twitch and maybe give those guys some views. And yeah, I will be back on the weekend. You can click the follow button on screen if you want to keep up to date with any of the streams that I do. And yeah, thanks guys. We had some good chats, some fun stuff. Go check out the Toe Jam and Earl 2 OST if you want to know more about that beautiful slap bass from earlier and funky tunes. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. I certainly did. Thanks very much for all the support, for any subs, for that lovely donation from Ewendell there. Rec Trap subbed just a moment ago, and to him Mella earlier as well with the host. That's super cool. Thanks, guys. And I'll see you next time.